Hey guys, Danny Juke and Access Games. Welcome to our seventh developer video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the animations for the handoff and the pitch for the quarterback. I'll show you how that process works. But before we get into that, I want to show you a couple updates that we have done, show you how the pursuit angles turned out. If you saw the last video, at the end I said I was going to keep playing with the numbers a little bit, and I got it to a formula that I was happy with. You also see that we've got cheerleaders, and so probably by the time you're actually watching this video, those will hopefully be implemented. We're planning on putting them around the stadium in a couple different places and having some cheer animations that play. The uniforms will also be moddable. So these are textures that get loaded in. You can see here is the texture that gets loaded in. So these will be fully moddable. These are, I believe, the top of the shoe, and I think that's the bottom of the shoe. And then here's obviously the skirt and the shirt or the top. So those will be moddable, which would be cool to add. Each team, you'll be able to put the the logo of the team right on the front of the top. So again, just adding little bits of realism. The more stuff that we can add to the stadium to give it some life, the better it'll be. Obviously in the future we'll be looking at adding referees and that sort of stuff, but maybe even coaches on the sideline and some camera crews and that sort of thing. So I want to show you the two things. I'll show you the pursuit angles. So let me kick off here. Show you how the pursuit angles turned out.
Ready. Hut.
So I'm going to stop this and pull him over to the sideline. So once he gets over here to the sideline and he adjusts, well, he still thinks he's running towards the hole. When I move them, sometimes they forget that they have been moved. Why are you still running there? Oh, because I wasn't moving the runner. Dirt, dirt.
Green 3. Green 3. Hike.
Let's see if we can get a running play here. I was wondering why that guy was not adjusting. He was not the guy with the ball. So let me see if I'll take the quarterback and move him. So if the quarterback runs across the line of scrimmage, you can see the pursuit angles that are being taken here. And what you really want to look for in pursuit angles, if I can show you and zoom out, if you draw an imaginary line from the runner to the pursuit angle, it should give you roughly equal lines distance-wise from the runner to where the defender is. So the point that's drawn on here, this point right here, should be roughly equal to this distance and this distance. I'm not doing a good job of explaining it, but I'll let you watch to see. So we can see the pursuit angles that are being taken there. So we see they take a nice angle there. Alright, and the other thing I want to show you is, let me start this over. I'm going to go on offense this time. We finished implementing juke moves. So let me select to receive. So I'll show you how the juke moves work. We may tweak these a little bit still, but we're happy with where they are now. I'm not sure how we'll do it in terms of controls yet. Maybe the triggers while you're running. If you use the keyboard, it'll be Q and E. Q would be a left juke, E would be a right juke. And I'll just show you how these work a
Blue
little bit.
15. Hut.
So you can, coming in, you can do little juke moves like this. From the side, you can do them the opposite direction. Either way, it just gives you a little bit more control as a runner. See, like we dodged the first one, we got hit by the second one. We're also looking at
Green, 21.
increasing the fumble rate if you
Green,
get
21.
hit while juking, especially on the side that you're holding the ball. So if you've got the ball in the right hand and you're doing a juke and you get hit, the chance of fumbling is increased. So we wanted to add a risk-reward factor into it. So obviously, and it's intended this way. It works sometimes. It doesn't work at other times. It's not meant to be just spammed every time you get close to a defender. It's not going to get you out of every tackle, but it's certainly going to be an additional control that you have, going to give you some more control as the, see if I can move for this first time. Run, block, fail. Give you just a little bit more control as the,
Green 21. What?
Okay, so that is what we've been doing. We're really excited about that, and we hope you guys are too. What I want to get into now is changing the handoff animation. So I'm going to go to the animator, and I'll be upfront with you guys. In a lot of these videos, it's very just kind of tinkering around with stuff until you get it to work. That's just part of game development. And so what I'm going to be doing today is going to be more of that. You'll see how we actually implement the animations, see how we have to get them working with all the other parts. It's a lot of timing, it's a lot of adjustment of fine details. It's not as pretty and glamorous as some make it out to be, but you will see how it's the process of how it's actually done. Okay, so I'm going to go in my animations, grab the ones from Iron Belly, and I want to go, let's do, we have two. We've got the toss this way, and we've got the handoff. And so for, obviously, we'll use the handoff for close quarter handoffs, and we'll use the pitch for tosses and sweeps and that sort of thing. But before we actually get into that, what I want to do is I want to use this kind of this idle animation that the quarterback has before play starts. Because if we look right now, quarterback before play, this is kind of like what the quarterback looks like before the play starts. Okay. Which isn't bad. But that's not how a quarterback holds his hands before the play starts. It would be more along the lines of this. And what I like is, I like how this would be a good under center animation for at the beginning. This would not be a good animation for shotgun. So, let me move these a little bit. Alright, so let me figure out what I want to do here. So the handoff animation is actually an avatar mask that's here. And I want to change this because so an avatar mask plays an animation only for certain body parts. So this is play type equals 1, handball equals true, and then exit time. I'm going to delete this because I don't want to do that anymore. Alright, so this play type equals 2. This is going to be tricky because I don't want to... So we're going to have to come off of the handoff from running, which I think is going to have to come here. So what I'm going to do is I need to figure out which animation is typically playing when the quarterback hands the ball off. And we'll do a normal handoff first, then we'll work on the pitches.
Green,
so for example,
21. Hey.
I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to go into scene view. And I'm going to look at this. And I'm going to take the animator and I want to put it down here so that I can see kind of both at the same time. This down. And then I want to select the quarterback and see where we are. Okay, so he transitioned from here back to idle, so he's kind of standing still, and then he's going to transition to locomotion, which is the run animation. And he kind of just like throws the ball. So I think we just need to transition off of locomotion and do it from there. Alright, so let's go to our animation. Iron Belly, quarterback full handoff. Make sure we're good here. Good here. Good, good. Alright. So I'm going to create 2 new clips. We'll call this one handoff left. And we'll call this one handoff right. So for our left handoff, we're going to start here. I think I'm actually going to start here because we're going to be running. This is something we're going to have to play with a bit. Let's try here. And then we'll go from... So his feet aren't actually moving. So we'll bake it in, bake this in, and bake the rotation. Let me apply this. See, I like that he pivots off to the left. So maybe we can have it to where instead of transitioning to idle, he transitions to one of those two and then starts running. So let's try this first. Get rid of this. Well, let me mute this. And then let's go back to full handoff. And then let's go, we'll call this pivot right. This will be pivot left, and this will be pivot right. Because I want two separate animations just for pivoting off of, so you say hike, and you just turn here. So these pivots are only going to be run when it's a running play. So we'll do here, and we'll leave that, and then we'll apply it. So we see just the pivot part of the animation. Okay, so that's 48 to 68. We'll do the same thing here. We'll do 48 to 68. Lock the rotate, or lock the Y position, and we're going to mirror it. So this is going to be our handoff. This will be our pivot right. I have it backwards. And then our pivot right we will mirror. So now we're just pivoting to the right. Okay. So let me grab here, and we'll do pivot left, pivot right. So those will be for all the throws. To kind of reorganize these. These are the juke moves we just put in. Okay, so quarterback before the play, we'll have pivot left, pivot right. These we don't need right now. Alright, so we're going to go transition here, transition here. Let me think about this. So we're going to transition play active, so we'll say if play active's true and play type equals 1. Play type 1 is a run, play type 2 is a pass. Alright, so go again, play type true and play active true, play type equals 1. Okay, but obviously we need a third parameter for determining whether we go left or right from here. Before we do that, I want to look at the transition. Okay, so this is the transition from how the quarterback is before a play starts. So there's the pivot and the turnout. Some snapping of the feet. Actually, how do we transition here? Stance equals 1. False. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to grab two stances. So this will be the shotgun stance, and I also want to grab, I'm going to create another clip, and I'm going to call this under, say QB under center. apply this, come back, so I'm going to cut it here. So basically what I'm doing is, so this is I'm going to break this. So from idle, I want to go quarterback under center. Okay. From here, trying to think about, you know what, we're just going to do this whole thing. I wanted to have like a loop that played, but we're going to do this instead. So we don't want to loop it, so we'll just stay here, transition here. This is going to be if play active is true and play type equals 2. So if it's a pass play, we'll go to drop back, get rid of this exit time, and let's take a look at the transition animation between here and dropping back. Oh, we obviously don't want that full thing. Hold on. Under center. We want to clip this here. Alright, so back to the transition. Under center, drop back for a pass. Okay, that's good. Fixed duration has exit time. Okay. This is going to be quarterback shotgun. Okay, so if you're in the shotgun, you'll be here. This will be, so it's stance 1, play active false. This will be stance equals, we'll leave it as 0 right now, I'm going to have to change it, and play active is false. So I'm trying to remember what all of the, so each stance has a corresponding numeric value. So kickers are a 4, holders a 6, linemen are a 0. So I think the shotgun has to be a, no, the under center has to be a, we have fewer shotgun, so let's change this to a 7. So, and we'll leave this as a 1. So let's go into, I want to adjust the scripts really quick of the plays. So we're going to open up our plays. And this is how all of the play data is actually stored in the games. What time is it? 9:20. I'm going to go set formations. And so the ones that have, so shotgun, stance, we're going to change this to a 7. Spread is also a 7. I formations under center, split backs under center, trips is shotgun, goal line, field goal, punt, kickoff, onside kick. Okay. Alright, so we'll close that. Now our quarterbacks will go into the proper animation based off of whether they are under center or in shotgun. Let's test that out. Alright, so if we do a shotgun, it
Red
should be the
7.
normal animation,
That
which it
hurt.
is. And if we do under center, I want to pause this really quick before it gets into it. Ideally, he's going to play that animation that shows like when he kind of actually gets under center. And he's not. He's just being idle. So let's look and see what is going on. Take a look at the parameters. His stance is a 1. Play active is false. So he should be going here. Ah, we've got exit time checked. We need to uncheck exit time. And let's look at how this plays. His feet should actually move him. So I'm going to uncheck bake into position because I want to see him actually adjust. And my gut tells me we're probably too far away from the center. But we'll see how it looks. And hopefully all these little changes with how the quarterback looks, with the subtle movements that they make, hopefully these will add a lot of realism to the game. Alright. So we see the quarterback getting into his animation, and it looks like, well, looks like he's a little bit off. And he should be a little bit closer. So right now, our ball is on the 20. He should really be like here. Maybe back a little bit, like right here. So how much? So we just move him. It's 8.4. We want to move him to like 8.74. So we want to move him 0.3 forward. I want to move him over a little bit. What is this guy's position? Let me write that down. So we want to move him 0.3 F forward. And so the center's position is 0, 0, 1. Is it actually 0? Just about. And the quarterback's position, if we put it to 0, that's no good. So I wonder, we do one of two things. So first of all, let me go into game setup. I want to see if I have to manually adjust the quarterback's position. Doesn't look like it. So let's see if I change this to -1, if that helps. And I want to adjust, see if this is the culprit in moving him too far. To the right. So what I checked there is bacon to pose, and a lot of times animations have what's called root motion data, which is the animation will physically move the character as a part of the animation. You get the most realistic movement out of that. If you check bacon to pose, what that does is it will make the animation movement part of the character and not actually move them. So this isn't bad. He needs to be adjusted a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm not sure why he wasn't at 0. So I'm going to leave that at 0.2. And somewhere in this code, I'm adjusting the quarterback's position. I'm just reading the code here, figuring out where that's happening. So this is what actually sets them based off of the formation. I'm going to do it here. Nope. There it is. So I don't want to run this. Let me do this. I want to move them forward. New vector 3, 0f, 0f, 0.3f is what I want to do. Current comp, script reference, position 5. Some of that code I haven't looked at in a couple years, so I don't know where it is off the top of my head. I knew they weren't where they were supposed to be, but I didn't know exactly where the code was. The kicking animation looks a lot better than it used to. Alright, so now they should
Green
be
21. Green
at a
21.
good position. He might even be able to be moved over just a little bit. What's his rotation? I guess that looks pretty good. He looks like he's too far off to the left. I guess he really doesn't. I don't know, maybe it's me, but he looks like he needs to be over just a tiny bit. So let's do that. But the depth was good. So let's just move him over 0.1. Since we're already adjusting the Z position. I don't know if you guys have seen the new pads, or the new field goal net. It's got padding on the sides now. You can see kind of like the Axis football crest built into it. I think you saw an older version of it. Joe's updated this one, had some padding, had a little bit more depth to it, which is nice. Alright, so let's pick our play. Now let's look at it. So maybe... Alright, so 0.1 was too far. Let's try 0.5. 4, 3... I think maybe 2 would be good. No. Alright, 0.5 it is. I think that's fine, which is what we have. So that's half of what we have now. Alright, so 0.5 is
10. Hike.
Alright. So let's change this to 0.5. 0.5. Alright, good. So now we have different animations that play for if you're in shotgun or you're under center. Now what we want to do is, let's do a pivot. That is not what I meant to do. I'll do pivot right and pivot left. Alright. So we're going to need a new parameter. I'm going to call this handoff direction. And save it. Let's go over to our hash IDs, which we don't have up. And call this public int handoff direction. Handoff direction equals animator dot string to hash handoff direction. Using these hash IDs allows for int comparisons as opposed to string comparisons. String comparisons are bad, n squared operation, which is not what you want. So hashing them to an int gives us much better performance. So we'll say handoff direction 0 is left. So if the play is active and the play type, not catch type, play type equals 1, and the handoff direction equals 0. Then we'll go left. So we've got this pivot, and then from here we will transition to running. Alright, if we look at this one, this will be if play active is true, if play type equals 1, and handoff direction equals 1. We'll go to the right. Again, no exit time, no exit time. Transition seems a little slow. Whoa. I want it this way. Okay. Here we'll go to locomotion, which will be, I think we said exit time. Let's see how 1.5 looks. Alright, let's make sure the other ones are set. Handoff direction equals 0, and handoff direction equals 1. Alright. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. I meant to click on this one. Alright, so now I want to look at the I'm looking at how the transition looks. Let's see how this looks. So we'll do 0.33. rearrange these a little bit. Pivot left, put this here, actually go up a little bit, here, hand off left, hand off right, switch these here. You have to keep these organized, otherwise it gets to be really disastrous. I mean, you can see how many things we have, and if they're not organized properly. Alright, so handoff left. We'll call this, we want to do this if handball is true, handoff direction equals 0. Nope, equals 0. Alright, so at the start of the play, so set play info, we're going to call this set up offensive play. So, you're the quarterback, and it's a running play. We need to see if target, have we set target yet? No. I'll put this at the end. What did we say? Right was 1? Yeah. So we'll see if that works. Basically, the logic I'm using is if your first step, or if where the quarterback's supposed to go is to the right, then we'll say the handoff direction is to the right. But that might get a little tricky, like doing reverses and that sort of thing. So let's just start the process of, seeing how it looks and going from there. Alright, so we'll start with a real, just basic handoff right now. So immediately he flips and turns, which is not really what I want. And I do want to see what the animator looks like, what we're doing down here. Alright, so we start off and we're under center, which is what we want, and we pivot left, to adjust the handoff delay. And also I don't want him to snap that way right away. I'm going to test out a few things. I need to set it up where we don't start from the kickoff every time. I don't know if you can see, I did a little juke move right there and got a couple extra yards.
Red 29.
Okay, so again, he's still immediately turning, which it is what it is. Alright. So what animation is he playing right now? He's playing pivot left, which you shouldn't be pivoting left, you should be pivoting right. And he goes to locomotion. We never set hand ball to true. Hand off ball. Yes. Sure, I thought I was going to sneeze. So with these new animations, I'm going to have to do a significant amount of adjusting the old plays.
Green 3.
So he goes from center to pivot left. (24, 25, 26, 27). Okay. So that's the issue. We're trying to hand the ball off too soon. Alright, well, it is time for me to go to work. So I am going to continue to mess with this. Basically what I need to do is balance the timing from when the ball should be handed off. Balance that with the animations, because right now what's happening is the play starts, we're pivoting, and then we transition to running, which is where we need to be to hand the ball off, and then we're transitioning to the handoff at that point, which logically that makes sense. Play starts, you say hut, you pivot, you get to where you need to be, and then you hand the ball off, which is start the play, you pivot, get to where you need to be, hand the ball off. The problem is these transitions are occurring too slow. So when I need to hand the ball off, I'm still pivoting. In terms of the play data, the runner's where he needs to be. So all I need to do is just mess with these a little bit, adjust the timing, how long each animation plays, how long the transitions are, that sort of thing. Maybe even adjust when the ball is handed off. But hopefully this gives you guys some insight into how the whole process works. Hopefully you're really excited about the Juke moves, the cheerleaders that we've got coming up, so we will certainly be sharing that information with you guys soon. Again, thanks for your support. Would love to hear your thoughts, feedback, what you guys are excited about down in the comments section. Hit us up on Twitter at either Axis Football or at Axis Games Dev. And let us know what you're thinking. We'd love to hear from you. So again, thank you. We will be back next week with our 8th video. Until then, I hope you guys have a good week. I'll see you then.